Testing 1 2 3 4 5 6. Microphone test. Testing microphone 1 2 3 4 5 6. Testing, testing. Testing microphone 1 2 3 4 5 6. Okay, now I can see that I am there and away to go. Okay, so we are live underway. We are indeed live underway, and this is Andrew Whitfield. Okay, good evening, everybody. Good evening, everybody. This is Andrew Whitfield from How to Sell Online, and we're looking at Amazon online sales, and we're looking at how to survive in your business, because if you're not moving forward, if you're not looking at the marketplace, you are actually going backwards, and you're going backwards to the point of potential bankruptcy. Now, you might find that a really, really, really massive statement, and it is true. And I've got companies coming to me now saying, we're going backwards. We're not selling. We're not selling as many goods as we were last year. And when I ask them, what have you done differently? Nothing, because we were selling so well the previous year. That is why you're going backwards, because you're not doing anything. You cannot afford to take your eye off the ball, folks. Whatever is going on in the world is going on in the world. And one thing that is for sure is that the competition is coming in, and the competition is coming in, and it's starting to get to people if they're not looking at expanding. We'll go into that in more detail shortly. So let's first of all crack on. My name is Andrew Whitfield from How to Sell Online, and I am very uniquely qualified to talk to you about the subjects that we're talking about in this webinar tonight. And the reason I'm uniquely qualified is because I have run a number of online businesses, all of which have been sold, and all the listings have been sold. And that means I now spend most of my time talking to, helping and advising and working with, on occasions, other online entrepreneurs. So on these free webinars, what I'm doing is giving you some of the information that these guys are getting. But not only am I giving you the information, I'm giving you golden nugget information that could make the difference between expansion, growth, profit, and survival. So you need to listen in. So let's get on with this, and let's go straight to one of the things that we are looking at here. Now, according to Royal Mail in the UK, for 2015, they're looking at 65% of retailers increasing their international sales. Now, isn't that interesting that 2/3 are looking to increase their international sales? And what was I saying about standing still? That means 1/3 is going backwards and going out of business because they're not looking at the national market. And that doesn't matter whether you're a UK-based seller, you could be an American-based seller selling into the UK, you could be an Australian-based seller selling into the UK. It doesn't matter which country you're coming from. The issues here are the same all round. The global expansion in online retail sales is growing massively year on year. And the only way for you to actually make money anymore is to make sure that you're selling. If you're in the UK, selling to Europe. If you're in the UK, you need to be selling to the States, to Canada, to the Southern Hemisphere, Australia, New Zealand. You need to be looking at South Africa and deciding whether you're prepared to go there or not. Me, hands up, yep, I'm there. Also, you need to be looking at Europe, Eastern Europe. You also need to be looking at Russia and China. Those markets are massive. Depends on what your product is. We'll come on to products afterwards. But just look at the data on that report. 65% of retailers, according to Royal Mail, and Royal Mail are a damn good source of information for us, are looking to expand. Now, I've been talking to people about expanding for the last 3 or 4 years. I've been expanding myself over the last 3 or 4 years, and I went into all of the world markets. Why? Because that is where the money is. Right, let's think about this another way. What is the population of the UK? 63, 64 million people. And those 63, 64 million people are your target market if all you're doing is selling in the UK. Now, for the people that are talking to us from, listening into the webinar from the United States, Australia, South Africa, European countries, then obviously take your number of people for your particular country. I'm just going to stick with the UK for the very reason of looking at the UK. So you need to actually look and see what are the populations in each country. What are the demographics? How are those populations going to grow? Because if you've got 65 million people in the UK, then what you've got is a targeted market. How many of those 65 million are your customers? Do you actually know that? Have you got any idea of what number of customers you're targeting? Do you actually know? Do you know what their ages are? Do you know what the density is? You know, these are the types of questions you need to be asking. So let's say you have a product and your product is going to sell to a particular market. And I'm going to just bring this across to you now. This is going to come over onto the screen. Now I'm going to just move this onto the screen as it is so that you can see it exactly. Okay, this is a screenshot that I've got here, a screen grab. So if you're looking at, this is the UK, okay, what are you selling? So if you're selling items to the teenage market, say the 15 to 19 market here, how many people? We know we've got 60 odd million. How many people are your target? Well, according to the UK census at the time of producing this webinar, you've got 3,997,000. Now, out of that 3,997,000, roughly what is going to be the breakdown between male and female? Well, let's call these figures round as 4 million. So let's say there's 2 million each. 2 million boys. How many of those boys and girls are going to buy your product? Are they male orientated? Are they female orientated? So let's assume they're female orientated. So now you've taken the demographic down to a target of potentially 2 million customers. So out of those 2 million customers online, how many of them are purchasing and being active? Good question. That can be researched. And then out of those 2 million 15 to 19-year-olds, if that is your target market, how many of them have got disposable income to be able to afford your product? Another good question for you. Out of those 2 million, demographically, who are they going to buy? What is your market targeting at? Are you targeting your market at the top end, the people that have got lots of money and just buy things for the sake of it? Is it a middle market where people are buying products because the middle demographic, the middle income earners, or their parents are middle income earners? Or are you looking at bottom end products where your socio-economic is people who are struggling financially? So again, out of that 2 million, how many people are you targeting? So let's just break that down a bit further, and let's say it would be a quarter. Let's say 500,000 are potentially your target audience. Then we've got to look at the breakdown of how many of those 500,000 are actually going to buy from you, and how many of those 500,000 are going to buy from your competition. So you need to be looking at your competitor analysis. Do you see what I mean? You really have to break these numbers down. So you could end up with just a few 100,000 people potentially looking to buy. That doesn't mean to say 500,000 are, because you need to then have a look at what your competition is selling. How many are they selling? So you might be left with 2,000 sales a year. You might be left with 1,000 sales a year. You might be left with only 100 sales a year. But do you see, you have to break down the data right down to its entirety. You need to understand your numbers. And that is the one big thing that you've really, really got to focus on. So if there's anything that will come out of what we're talking about today, it's got to be the demographics. Now, you can go and get your statistics from pretty much anywhere. In the UK, there's something called the Office of National Statistics. They will provide all this data to you. And in other countries, there's other offices. So in France, you will have data. In Germany, you'll have data. In America, you have data. In Australia, you have data. Even in South Africa, you have data. So you have census style data. And it will give you everything from, you know, what the predicted future births and deaths are. So you can actually look at your market. If you're aiming at an older age market, are you aiming at 80s to 84s or over 80s? Are you aiming at the 60 pluses? You can start then drilling down the information that you need. And this is crucial to moving your business opportunity forward. So although Royal Mail are saying that things are moving up and people are getting very confident, you actually need to be able to understand the numbers. So don't forget, folks, if you have any questions, you have a chat box. If you look at the top right of the screen, you have a chat box, and that is enabled, and that will send an email in, and we will attempt to deal with your questions for you. So this is a very much an interactive webinar where you can get information. So what are we looking at here? Well, here are some ideas. This is a report that's come out, and it's regarding the potential growth for Britain, Europe, US and Canada. And the numbers that you've got here are the online sales. This is where they were in 2014. This is where they are in 2015. So the red is 2015. And what they're doing is they're looking for potential growth sales. Now, it is a damn good indicator, because year on year, we have seen growth in sales. But not only have we seen growth in sales, if you look at different companies, these are small percentages. These are small percentages because it's looking at the overall growth in sales. But when you actually look at certain companies, the 65% of companies that Royal Mail are saying in the UK are expecting to increase sales internationally, some of those companies are growing by 20, 30, 40%. You've only got to look at Amazon for that. Amazon has grown massively year on year and continues to do so, and will continue to do so. Now, what I've done is I have given you the opportunity to obtain the report on this, and it's the online retailing report for Britain, Europe, US and Canada, and it is available as a download. So what I'm going to do is, if you go to your pop-in tab, so if you look on the right part of the screen and you go to your pop-in tab, you will see that there is a picture of the graph that comes up. And if you click on the download button, you are able to download the report that has been produced for you on those markets. Now, you're not going to lose your place on the webinar, so don't worry about that. That is absolutely fine. Just go and click that download button and you will get the data behind that report. It is, if I remember right, 4 pages long. because I've put the graphs in on page 4 large so that you can interrogate them in a lot more detail. But have a look at that report. That is some vital information. Now, whilst it's there on your screen with the download button, hit the download button and you'll be able to go with that and pick that report up. It'll download it onto your computer, your phone, and you'll obviously be able to print it off, look at it, and digest it and take the information from there. So you can see things are growing extremely well and extremely nicely. And what you've got to remember is that although we have got the growth, let us not forget, and this is where we'll come on to in a little while, let us not forget, part of that growth is not just us sending out, it's people sending into our market. So your market, from the demographics you just looked at, your market is shrinking. You need to understand that. You need to understand that your market share is reducing day by day as new players come to the marketplace. So where should you be selling? Well, obviously, Amazon is the topic here. And Amazon is one of the greatest places for you to sell goods. Their reach worldwide, their penetration in selling to people is absolutely massive. And you need to be with Amazon. You need to be selling on Amazon. And a lot of companies I speak to, a lot of people say, we have our own website. We will sell everything through our own website. And hey guys, I was guilty of that when I first started. I thought, oh, I'll make my own websites and I will save on my seller fees, on my Amazon fees, on my eBay fees, and I'll sell directly through my own website and I'll make more money. On each product I sold, I made more money. The interesting statistic for you here is, in all my days of turnover with those platforms, Amazon represented, on average, 64% of my sales. 64% of my sales of multi-million pound businesses was coming through Amazon. Okay, so that leaves me 36%. 29% was coming from eBay. 29% was coming through eBay. 7% was coming from other sources. So that'd be play.com, other selling platforms, other names, which you'll see in a little while. And obviously telephone sales and my own website sales. My own website sales never ever reached 2%. And do you know why that is? It's because the type of product I was selling was not niche enough to actually outstrip the advertising power and the market penetration of Amazon and eBay. That is why you have to be there. So Amazon is going to charge you 17.2%. Pay it. Get it in your margins. Get over the fact that you've got to pay them something. You've got to pay them something. Just get over it. It's irrelevant. It doesn't matter. The fact is you've got to do it. So you've got to sell on Amazon. Now you'll notice that here I've got Amazon.com and Amazon.co.uk. So let us just deal with that for you at the moment. If you are selling on Amazon Marketplace now, then you can easily move your products over to Europe. If you're not selling in Europe now, the question you've got to say is, why not? And if you're going to talk about postage and packing, we'll come on to that. That is almost a complete irrelevance. And I'll deal with that for you shortly as well. But Amazon.co.uk, you can sell into Europe. Amazon.com, obviously that's selling America, United States, and other places throughout the world. But Amazon.co.uk and Amazon.com websites run independently. So you need to have your products on both. So if you're on .co.uk, it is easy to spread out to Europe. Amazon will work with you to do that very, very easily. If you want to sell in the States, you have got to open an Amazon.com account in the United States. It's not a problem. It's really easy. And we do this for our clients and our people all the time. And we talk you through how to do this in our training procedures and training packages. So it is really, really easy to actually move your business from one to the other. Now, when you want to make money on Amazon, there's lots of other ways you can do it. So if you're on Amazon and you want to make a little bit extra and you've got the time and the inclination to do it, you know, you can sell apps, you can become an affiliate and sell other people's products. You can advertise your products independently. So if you do have your website and you have niche products and you're not mass market and you're not in so much competition with money, then you can actually sell through Amazon, and you can have a website that's linked into Amazon, but it will go off your website. Now, again, I've done this as well, and we never outsold Amazon by selling Amazon direct. We had cheaper fees, but we never had the sales. So again, if you're into books and music and things like that, you can publish things on CreateSpace and Kindle. You know, there's all sorts of things that you can do. Amazon is getting bigger and bigger. I was recently over in Nepal. I went over there and I was there for a few weeks. And one of the things that I saw on Nepalese television was Amazon advertising, selling products in Asian markets. So selling it throughout Nepal, throughout India. So they were advertising, they were television advertising to say, come and buy your clothes and your fashion and your gifts and your items, buy them off Amazon, Amazon India. So are you selling on Amazon India? Because if you're not, you need to be thinking about it, especially if you're into clothes. Now, if you've got to realize there are certain restrictions on Amazon, and some of those restrictions are things like categories. So if you're selling food products, you've got to get permission to sell the food products first. Once you've got that permission, you're able to go ahead, but you've got to go and get an approved category listing. So you've got to go through that procedure. And once you've done it, it then becomes absolutely easy to continue selling on Amazon. So what are you looking at when you're selling in Amazon? Well, Amazon, European and worldwide, as I said, here are some of the countries that Amazon are in. This just gives you the idea. And if you're already listed in the UK, why aren't you selling out to some of these countries? Because it is literally the click of a few buttons. You contact Amazon directly and you say, I want to activate accounts in France, Germany, wherever. And they will do it for you. So then you're selling on Amazon FR, Amazon DE. So FR for France, DE for Germany. Put all your things onto .com if you're not already listed in the United States. Or if you're in the United States and you want to hit the European market, get yourself listed on .co.uk. Now, Amazon will help you do this. Amazon want to grow their business. They will help you do it. Likewise, our company helps you do it, and we have the products that can actually take you there and get you up and running. So look at all these countries that they're in. So you want to increase your sales, you need to get there. So let's just have a quick talk about the marketplace for a minute. At the moment, your competitors from, say, China are shipping things into the UK direct to the customer. Now, a lot of people say, oh, it's coming from China. It's going to take ages. But the very, very switched on manufacturers in China and other countries, of course, what they're doing is they're making their products and they're shipping containers of them into the UK and they're putting them in a warehouse, or they're shipping them directly to the UK and shipping them directly into Amazon fulfillment. So can you actually see what is happening here? They are sending the product that is the factory direct, sending the product out to the country, whether it's UK, whether it's the United States, whether it's into Europe, wherever it is, they're producing the product and it's going direct from the manufacturer to the distributor. So that has just cut out all of the import agents and the other people that might be involved in a product. So yeah, they're selling that product cheaper, but there are so many people not taking a cut, and we'll come to that in a moment. So the ideal thing to do is to send everything to Amazon Fulfillment or another fulfillment house. Personally, I've tried other fulfillment houses, the independents, and I would go with Amazon worldwide, not a problem, and I would go with the big one they've got in the States for eBay. Now, when you're using Amazon Fulfillment, anything you sell on Amazon, Amazon will give you the best price to get it out to the customer, and they will get it out very quickly. They will deal with the customer service for you. So can you see how this could be even better? You don't even need to have a warehouse full of people. You just send your stock directly to Amazon, and Amazon do the rest. Now, it is that simple, but there is some work to do. And again, we go through that in great detail on the training courses that we run, because you have to make sure you get your barcodes correct. And if you have a problem with obtaining barcodes, there are ways of doing it. And there are low cost and no cost ways of doing it. And again, things like that we cover on our training courses and things. So you need to understand how that works. You need to understand how you send your product to Amazon Fulfillment Center. You don't just stick it on a pallet, send it in and hope for the best. There is a particular way to do it. And of course, we obviously go through all of that type of issue. So you need to look at the countries that you want to attack. Now, if you're selling widgets to the UK and you decide you want to sell those widgets to Brazil, what you need to do is go back to what we were talking about before, back to the demographics, and is there a marketplace in Brazil for them? Do Brazil have those widgets? And if so, can you make sales there? And then when you look at, say, France, what language are you going to use? Are you going to use English or are you going to use French? On your back office keywords and search terms, are you going to use French or English language? Well, the ones that use English will get a few extra sales, but not many. The smart people that invest in having language translation services make more money because they will make sales. Because what you've got to remember, the French-speaking population is rather large, and the French-speaking people will search in French for the product more than they will search in English. And if they find a French-worded product, they are more likely to buy it, especially if it is dispatched directly from Amazon. And let us say that it is being held in France at one of the warehouses, not in the UK. Therefore, it's in France, going through France, direct to the customer. So that is one of the reasons you need to actually consider using Amazon fulfillment services. You may go on to multi-platform selling. So let's say you're on Amazon, you've got your own website, you've got an eBay account, and you're looking at others. Well, you can do that. It's called multi-platform selling. And in multi-platform selling, all you're doing is adding other platforms to it. So there are software packages out there that you can use. And again, we will advise you on those, which are good, which are bad. I've used several of them. I know the good ones. I know the bad ones. I know the ones that are out there and they'll say, we'll build you a system for 30,000, where you could actually get it done for 6 and have exactly the same system. So there are lots of things you need to consider. And then when you are sourcing and sending stuff out directly through Amazon, you can obviously integrate your own website into it. You can also integrate eBay. Now, if Amazon are going to send out a parcel for you, and let's say the parcel is going to cost you £10 to, or $10 or €10 or whatever it is, 10 to send out, then absolutely fine. If you sell it on eBay and you move that to Amazon for them to fulfill that product, they're going to charge you a surcharge. So let's say that surcharge takes that product to 12 to send out. So what you've got to do, and this is where knowing your numbers counts, how many sales do you make on Amazon and how many sales do you make on other platforms? I know my figures. 64% of my sales go through Amazon. So I would then say, I've got 64 at 10. I've got 36 at 12. So I would work out that calculation, and I would then work out how much my mean average cost was. So let us say we've got 36 times 12, and that is 432. Okay, let's add 640, which would be the 64 at 10 that would go directly by Amazon. That gives me a total average of 1072. So if I divide that then by 100, that gives me the mean average of 1172 per parcel. So I can build that in. I can still do my free post, and I can build in the postage cost against it. So yes, when I sell on Amazon, I'm making a bit more. When I sell on eBay, I'm making a bit less. But overall, or any other platform, my own website, wherever it may be, overall, I'm putting in a mean average of what I estimate my shipping and handling costs to be. And it's always never going to be absolutely spot on, but it's going to be there or thereabouts. And obviously you can interrogate those numbers a lot deeper as you go on and make price adjustments as and when. Can you start to see the power of using the big platforms and moving your business across? So here's some of the other places that you can sell, and some of them I've used, some of them I haven't. But you know, you got Ubid, Artfire, Ruby Lane, Bonanza, Sequot, eBid, iOffer, Etsy, Newegg, TIAS, Eltbay, Delcamp, eCrater, BidArt, Store Envy, Qbids, ASOS, Online, Liquidation, Trade Easy. Those are just a few. Those are a snapshot of places that you could be selling your product as well. So why would you only have it listed on your own website and nowhere else? Thinking I'm going to make loads of money. I can guarantee you get it listed on Amazon, your sales will increase. So you'll make more money. You get it listed on eBay, your sales will increase. But if you get it listed on Amazon, eBay, and you also look at the other sites, some of those don't operate in certain countries, so you need to check which countries they operate in. But you can then start to actually move into new areas and new marketplaces. Play.com is a great one for the European market. So we'll have a quick look at Play.com. I've done a lot with Play. I like Play.com as a platform. It's got a reach of about 14 million people registered on their site. It's growing, so it may be 15 million by now, maybe even 18 million for all I know. But what is Play.com? Well, their reach is mainly Europe and European wide and the UK. And you can virtually sell anything on there. But Play.com expect you to offer free post. End of story, free post, whether it's in the UK or in Europe, it's free post. That is it. So you need to add your postage cost in. And obviously you need to deal with VAT, which is something else we're going to be talking about towards the end of the webinar. So your advantages and disadvantages. The advantages are you've got an extra 14 million people or another 14 million people that you can reach with your product at a different demographic internationally and in the UK. You've also got the fact that you upload everything to them. So if you've uploaded it onto Amazon, then you take the spreadsheet that you use to upload it, assuming you did the bulk upload, and you then just take out the information that they require at Play.com and they will upload it. The only issue with Play.com is that they own the data. The terms and conditions that they have mean that they own the data that you upload to them, and they can allow other people to sell against you on that platform. But if you've got a niche product, why don't you get it across as many platforms as you can? And it means that also if you decide to take that product off the market, they will still own that particular listing, which means that somebody else could come in and sell it behind you, or obviously it could mean that you just get general competition and you end up with a bit of a price war which is what tends to happen on Amazon sometimes if you get 4 or 5 people selling the same product. So the ideal here is to look at white labeling, which we'll come on to shortly. So one of the advantages, increase your market reach. Increase your market reach to the people that are attacking that market for you and pay them. Now, if you want to sell on eBay, if you're not on eBay already, here are some of the ideas. And again, eBay work on a very different basis. So you could sell in eBay, Belgium, Australia, Germany, Canada, France, USA, etc., etc. And they've all got their separate shops. So you can go on and you can sell anywhere there. Now then, if you're selling on ebay.co.uk, then it is very easy to sell out to ebay.com.au. It is also very easy to sell out to ebay.fr for France, Italy, Germany, etc., etc. If you then go and move all your products and open an ebay.com account, ebay.com actually has a reach to approximately 207 worldwide countries. So if you're selling your product in ebay.com, your reach through eBay is also potentially to another 207 countries. So isn't that fantastic, having that massive reach with these particular companies? I think that is absolutely brilliant. So you need to look at eBay. And then when you're looking at eBay, you need to decide where you're going to be. You need to register it as a business. You need to have at least a basic shop. If you register it as a business and you don't manage to get the shop up and running, then all you're going to be is a general punter selling stuff, and you're going to be charged the highest fees, not the lowest fees. Whereas if you go in and you get your stuff up there quickly, you open it as a business, you transfer it into a shop, then at least that way you are going to legally be able to sell on eBay without any problem and without any issues in eBay coming along saying, there's an issue here, your account is suspended until you've sorted this issue out. So don't forget, eBay, if you advertise in ebay.co.uk, then you are able to get out to Europe very, very easily. If you are not on ebay.co.uk, sorry, on ebay.com and only ebay.co.uk, move everything out to ebay.com so that you get the reach to the other 207 countries that they now operate in. That is how big these people are. Now, when you're selling out to these countries, what you've got to remember is that you need to decide whether you're going to have different language and sell it in the proper language of the country, or whether you are going to white label it, have it packaged, and that way you can get it into that country under its own label and targeted to that market. But make sure there is a market in that country for it. It's no good selling made in Britain items if made in Britain doesn't matter anymore and people won't buy them just because they're made in Britain. So that is something else for you to be aware of. Now then, how do you look at your supply chain? Now, your supply chain is crucial to moving your business forward. So crucial, in fact, that it is one of the biggest areas that people make mistakes. And again, when we talk about things on our training course and things like that, you will be able to pick up all this information in a lot more detail. We're on a webinar tonight. I'm telling you about this. I'm giving you the information. You can go away, you can digest it, you can do whatever you want to do with it. But what you need to remember is there is more to it. On a webinar for about an hour, I don't have the time to actually give you all of the information. I just have the time to give you the pointers. The rest of that information is freely available to actually move forward with, or you can go on our training course and you can actually then get interaction, or you can become a member of one of our sites and you can have direct interaction with me and my team. So when you're importing something, what you need to know is where you are in the pecking order. Okay, so let's have a look at this. Here is the manufacturer right at the top. Who do you buy your product off? So your supply chain is this here. So are you buying direct from the manufacturer? There's nobody else in the chain, nobody at all that's taking a commission. So you're buying at the cheapest possible price. Or are you buying after it's come through an import agent and perhaps it's gone to a registered distributor? Well, don't forget The manufacturer, the import agent, and the registered distributor are all making money. So there's more profit going in there. So if you've got people buying the products that you're selling direct from manufacturer and you're buying from registered distributor, you're paying more money, which means that the other people that are going direct are getting a better deal and making more money. And if you add any of these in, commissioned agents, a main wholesaler, a secondary wholesaler, and this is quite common in the UK, that it comes from manufacturer, imported agent. It might have a commission or registered distributor who is the next point of call. And it then may go to a wholesaler. The wholesaler may then send it and sell it to a second wholesaler. And that wholesaler might sell it to anybody else, including a main dealer. And depends where you are on this, to where you actually make the purchase at the best possible price. So on your supply chain, you need to understand how your supply chain works. And then you also need to understand where you are in this process so that you can decide on how much you want to pay and how much you're willing to make. Again, you could be losing money purely because you're buying from the wrong part of the supply chain. Let's just give a quick look at this. So let's say we've got a product that's going to cost $9. Now it could be dollars, pounds, euros, it could be anything. So let's just use the word 9. So the item has a cost of 9 with the manufacturer. The import agent then adds their profit, takes it up to £14.40. Let's say you've then got a registered distributor, a commission agent, maybe a company representative on a bonus. There may be a wholesaler in there, a secondary wholesaler, a main dealer, an authorized dealer, a third-party outlet. All of these people are taking money and adding money to the product before they sell it to you, and then you're expected to sell it into the marketplace. It doesn't always work. Okay, so you can go to become the third-party outlet, but you could actually go direct to the manufacturer. And if the manufacturer says, no, we don't deal direct with companies, which a lot of people will do, a lot of manufacturers will do that, but if you go to our import agent or our registered agent, they will deal directly for you, then at least you've cut everybody else out of the food chain, out of the supply chain, which means you have a better way of actually making some more money. So you need to be really, really clear on where the costs are in that, and you need to apply that to everything you purchase. So questions to ask when you're buying: what is the MOQ, minimum order quantity? That is key, because if you want a discount, you need to know what you've got to buy. So the first thing you've got to do is find out how many do you need to buy to actually purchase the product from the supply chain, wherever it is in the supply chain you're at. And if it is manageable for you to buy the minimum quantity, brilliant, go ahead. But before you actually place your order, you've got another question: what are the discount bands and how do I get them? Because if you go in and say, yes, thank you very much, Mr. Distributor, I will buy 200 of those, minimum order, blah, 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 yep, brilliant, done, then he's going to charge you whatever he can get away with. So you've got to go in and you've got to negotiate. You've got to find out what the price is you're going to pay. And then what you want to do is ask for the largest discount price ever given. So you've already asked for the price bands. So you got in, you said, right, it's a minimum order quantity, okay, and that's price band X. What is the next band of quantity for me to get it at a cheaper price? And they might say it's 1,000 units. And then you say, well, what happens if I was to purchase 2,000 units? You might get it at an even better price. And then you can start negotiating with those people and saying, okay, I want that price, but at first I'm only going to take that many units off you to test the market. And afterwards, I am going to take this many units off you for good. So you need to ask these questions. And then the other question is, what is the largest negotiated discount price ever given? Now, that is a different question to what are the discount bands, because most companies will have a discount scale. So the more you buy, the more discount you get. But there will be some large companies that potentially have gone there and said, right, we like your product, we want to buy it, but we're not prepared to pay that price for it. So they'll have done one-off bespoke prices. So that could be to the sheds, that could be to the Tesco's of the world, the Walmarts of the world. They've got a large discount price because they have got the penetration. So you need to find out what that discount price is that those companies have had. And then what is the largest negotiated discount ever given? That to me is a key question. Nobody actually asks that question. And that is really, really a pity because it is a very key question in moving your business forward. So once you find out what the big sheds have paid, the Tesco's, the Walmarts of the world are, then your next part of the question is, how many do I have to buy to actually get them at that price? Now you might be surprised. They might say 1,000 units and you were already buying 500. Or they might say 10,000 units. Now they might say 10,000 units. And because you're going to go away and do your demographics, you will know how many people are potentially going to buy them, roughly what your sales could be per month, and how long 10,000 units would last you. So you can actually work out on a rough diagram how long it's going to take for you to sell those 10,000 units. So you could be in a position to say, I will give you an order so that I can have it at that price, but I only want 1,000 ordered a month, 1,000 delivered rather a month. I only want 1,000 items delivered every month. And they might turn around and say, yeah, we'll do that for you. So that could be brilliant. That could work. Those are conversations you need to have. Then you need to ask, would they white label for you? So would they produce the same product and would they be prepared to put your own brand and brand name on? Now, my scenario there is quite simple. If they turn around and say, no, they're not prepared to move forward, then I won't have a passenger coming back with me that particular day. Who else sells the product in the wholesale marketplace? Who else is out there selling the product that you know? Ask the supply chain who the other sellers are. They will tell you. They want to know because they want the business. And then, does their company supply them? If not, who does? And then again, what you're looking at year-round, your year-round stock handling, what you're looking at there is who is going to be there to accept the stock, to put it away, to deal with it. The last thing you want to do is leave it out, especially if it's going to rain. And year-round stock holding, you need to understand what I was saying before. You need to understand the system that the police have got here. You've got to be able to get out of that street very quickly if you need to. And then you've obviously got to be able to get the products back in. So you're looking at year-round stock holding. When you're looking at year-round stock holding, what you've then got to do is make sure that you understand how they deal with the seasonal spikes, what it is that they do to actually make sure that they have got stock year-round for you. So if a seasonal spike comes in, the last thing you want to be doing is finding that you've got no stock left. So what is your current stock? What is the delivery time? What is the backup? How long is it to get additional stock? And what is the final date for seasonal orders? So if you've got a seasonal product and it's only going to sell in the summer, what is the final date that you can put that in to make sure you've got stock for the summer? Now, the other thing you've got to do here as well is look at your competitors. You need to look and see what else is going on in the marketplace, because your competitors are going to be there and you need to find out who they are. You've got to do your competitor analysis. Big mistake where somebody does not do their competitor analysis. You have got to do your competitor analysis if you want to stay current and you want to grow. If you're not prepared to do your competitor analysis, you're probably going to not have a business. It could be that simple. Now, the other thing you need to find out where you can, if you're going direct to the manufacturer, what is their supply chain like? So if they're building a product of several components, what is their supply chain all about? How do they get the stock out to the customer? And how do they get the stock into them? The stock of the components that they're using. You need to understand that. You need to understand where their supply chain is. If one of their supply chain falls over, do they have somebody else to jump in and take the place to move product out so that you can buy it? Those are the types of questions you need to ask these people, and you need not to be afraid to do it. You've got to ask these questions. Okay, so if you now go to your pop-in tab, I am now going to take out the online retailing report. So that has now gone. So that has disappeared. And what I'm going to do is get you the next one here, which is the traders report. Okay. So if you go to your pop-in tab now, you will find that you have this report available to you. Oops, not that one, that's the other one. Okay, so in your pop-in tab now is this one. So this was one that was commissioned some time ago, but it is still worth looking at. It's still got some really good points in it. This was commissioned by eBay. So this is an American one, looking at how America are pushing out into the UK. This is crucial for you guys to know, because America are attacking the UK market, and some of you guys are just sitting there not doing anything about it. You are not doing anything about the Americans coming over to Europe and the UK, and they're taking it by storm. So can you see, if you've got a product that you sell that 10 other companies sell, that normally used to sell only in their own countries or in their own regions, but now they're able to sell it out to any country at all, what you need to be doing is making sure that you're still getting your marketplace. So if you're seeing your marketplace tail off, guess what? This will be one of the problems. You've got other people coming in. So you need to look at your product, and you need to possibly make some harsh decisions. Do you actually stick with that product, or do you take it and say, that's it, that product is no longer there? You know, it may be that you do that. So you've got the opportunity now to download this report in full. Just click the download button, the executive summary. And basically what happened in the States was quite simple. The United States had lots of problems in sending products out to other countries because there was legislation and there was taxation and there were lots of things in the way. And how many people have you heard saying, I bought this from America, when it arrived here I had to pay an extra $50 in import duty, and nobody told me about that, and I feel really unhappy about it, and I've made complaints to eBay, Amazon, PayPal, whoever it is. Irrelevant. You need to take care of that for your client. But the United States have actually dealt with that and made it a lot easier for United States online sellers to sell product out worldwide. So you need to download this report. This was commissioned by eBay. I know we're talking about Amazon, but the data behind this report also reflects on Amazon, because anybody selling products in the United States online and sending them out worldwide will find that they've got lower barriers to get the product out there. The trade barriers have been removed so that they can do that. So there you go. That report is there. I'm about to take that one out now. So click on the button now if you want to download the Enabling Traders to Enter and Grow the Online Global Stage. press download now. I'm just about to remove it because I'm about to put you another one in. There we go. That one is now gone. So the other thing people talk about very often is VAT. So what I'm doing here is I am now showing you, oops, let's remove that, click that. There we go. Now you have got another download there, which is the EU VAT tips report. Now, on this report, what we're looking at is we're just giving you some clues here on what you have to do. A lot of people say, what about VAT? Well, if you're a UK seller and you're not registered for VAT and you're going to sell over £81,000 worth current at time of recording products, then you need to register for VAT and you need to start collecting and charging and doing VAT returns accordingly. HMRC in the UK have made things slightly easy for you to do. There is a lot of help there. Go to hmrc.gov.co.uk and you will be able to find lots of helpful information there. Collecting VAT is not the pain that it sounds. It has an administrative issue to it, but don't forget you're getting your VAT returned back to you as well. And if you've made lots and lots of purchases of capital purchases like vans, cars, stationery, computers, laptops, things like that, all have VAT on, you'll be able to claim most of that back. So you need to do that. That's if you're in the UK. If you're in America, if you're in Europe, you need to look at your own country's taxation system and decide how you go forward. But if you're selling in the UK, you can sell to all of the European countries. If you're selling business to consumer in the UK out to Europe, you still need to charge VAT. It's as simple as that. If you're selling items business to business, you've got a VAT number and that European business has got a VAT number, then you can sell them with no VAT. You can create a zero sale. You've got to get yourself registered to do that. I've always been registered to do that. So you can then import or export product out business to business in Europe quite easily. If you start selling the limits, so let's say you were going to sell in Bulgaria and you were selling over 10,226 euros worth of product and you're a European seller, you will then need to register in Bulgaria for VAT and you will have to then pay the VAT equivalently. So you need to look at what countries are. If you're not selling the levels and the amounts that they are looking at, then don't worry about it. It's not a problem. It's only a problem if you're going to sell those large amounts. VAT isn't a major issue. The other one, if you're a worldwide seller and there's going to be import duty, what you need to do is find out what the import duty is going to cost. And don't forget to download that. That's available now to you. So please download it whilst you've got the opportunity because we're almost at the end of the webinar. If you're selling product to worldwide countries, you will have import duty that you need to consider. Now with import duty, it is slightly different. You need to find out what the import duty is for that particular product going into that country. And rather than leaving it for the customer to do it, why don't you charge that import duty on the price of the item that you're selling, plus any other associated costs that you may have, like the seller fee or whatever it may be. So you might have to increase it by the import duty and the seller fee that would go on there. And you can then take care of that import duty for the customer. That makes the customer's journey better. Now, people have mixed views about that. Some people say, absolutely not. We tell them that there's an import duty to pay on this, and we tell them where to actually find the information, depending on what country we're selling in. Other people will work out what the import duty is for each country, and they will sell it at that price for that country, and they will pay the duty when the product goes through. That is a cleaner and faster way of doing it because you give them good customer service. So that means you can export business to consumer a lot easier. So it is well worth doing that and adding that into the price. And then you can say duty free because you have paid the duty on the item. You're dealing with that on behalf of the customer. So there we are, folks. That's just all about wrapping it up pretty much for where we are now. What you need to actually do now is decide how you want to move forward, what you want to do next. If you want to work with us, that is fine. If you want to do that, that is absolutely fine. If you don't want to do that, equally fine. The video there is going to, the download is just about to be removed from there. So remove that for you. So you can now have those 3 downloads. You've got them available to you, and you can So now if you look on your screen, you'll see that opened in a new tab will be the How to Sell Online website. If you want to work with us, there are several things that you can do to work with us. One of those things is quite simply to become Now, if you want to look at working with us, we have this particular product that you can purchase. There are other things that you can purchase as well. So if you go to the website, you can go and find out more about what we're offering. This is if you want to increase your business. If you're looking at growing your business, if you actually want to expand into new platforms, new markets, you want to take your business forward and grow, then we've got a 10-week, 7-module course. And over that period of time, we go through everything in major detail. It's all done by webinar style video content, and I am walking you through step by step the processes you need to go. That is a 10-week, 7-module course, £597. So you can just click on, go to that website there, or look in your pop-in tab and you'll see that you've been directed to it. And you can obviously just go and help yourself to that. That is not a problem. It's there for you to do, and we would love to work with you. On that, I have created a lot of the content, so you are working with me. You can sit there, you're side by side with me as we're going through things, looking at how you implement, upload, put in, where you research, etc., etc. That is all in there. It is a brilliant 10-week, 7-module course. There are other ways of working with us. We have an inner circle where you can actually just work with us quite easily, and that has lots of benefits. And we physically get involved in your website or your trading platform, and we will do deep dive into that, and we will find out what is going on there. So just go to our website and you'll find that. There's no hard sell here, folks. At the end of the day, if you want to work with us, you can do. You can just go to our website and take all the free stuff. There's, over 100 videos. There's loads of free reports, hints and tips, things like that. You can take all that and you can go and digest it yourself. I tend to be the type of person that invests in other people because then I can fast track to getting that information. But if you want to do that, that is your first point of call, is the download of the 7-module 10-week online course. And that will give you everything you know from, even if you're just starting out, the first modules are looking at how you start your business. And then we're looking at how do you go onto eBay, how do you go onto Amazon. And we take the whole process through to white labeling and creating and manufacturing your own purchased product. And we've had so many years experience. These videos and these tutorials are absolutely superb, and we're getting great comments back all the time. You've also got our other membership level where you can have me working with you as a mentorship, and the mentorship program works very straightforwardly. I will be working with you on your business personally. We will be meeting up several times a year by either physically being face to face or over the telephone or Skype, whichever it is. And you will get to understand exactly what you need to be doing in your business so that you can move your business forward. I'll be working in it and I'll be really working with you. The other thing we have is our 3-day retreat. Our 3-day retreat is a brilliant one. And again, if you're starting out or you've already got a business, we will do a deep dive review of where you are. You will be on our retreat. We feed you, we provide you with wine, we provide you with food, meals, breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks during the afternoon, and we even provide you with a place to sleep. So we provide you with everything you need, and you will bring your laptop with you, you will bring your business with you, and we will go through that business with a fine-tooth comb over the 3 days so that you can go away and you can grow your business and change it. So that is another great way of working with us. So if you want to know any of those, just go to the appropriate, if you go to the H2SO site and then go to the appropriate one, you will be able to work with us if you choose to. And we would love you to. We would love to have you on board, and we would love to have you working with us. That would be absolutely fantastic. That way we know that we have got something that you're going to be extremely happy with, because you're going to move forward and you're going to outsell other people. And that's what it's about. It's about finding ways of moving your business forward in the changing marketplace. So there you go. That's your 7-day retreat, sorry, 3-day retreat, 7-day retreat. All the information is in there. Just go to there, and that's retreat.h2so.org. And you'll be able to find all the information on the retreat. If you have any questions for me, folks, please come back to me. There is no hard sell here. If you want to work with us, work with us. We would love to have you working with us. Some of the products that we actually have mean that you've got to achieve certain levels before we can work with you. But on the whole, we would like to work with everybody and take them forward and grow their business for them. That's it from me, Andrew Whitfield. I hope you have a good day for the rest of the day, wherever you are, whatever you're doing. And I look forward to seeing you on the next webinar. Take care for now. Bye.